Have you ever encountered people whose behavior makes you feel uncomfortable or even bad? In this video, we will explore 9 key signs that will help you identify toxic individuals in your life. Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the wisdom of Stoicism to better understand the world around us and ourselves. Today we'll discuss how Stoic philosophy can help you recognize those who bring nothing but negativity into your life. But before we begin, let me ask you, are you ready to hear the truth? Number 1. Lack of empathy. Toxic people often lack the ability or willingness to understand the feelings of others. Stoics believed in the importance of compassion and understanding, considering that human relationships are built on empathy and mutual respect. However, such individuals completely ignore these principles, preferring to remain at the center of their own interests without considering the feelings and experiences of those around them. These people may come across as insensitive or even indifferent to your emotions. They rarely show concern or interest in your well-being, and if you try to share your problems or joys, they might show little to no attention. Often, these individuals make harsh or cruel comments without considering the consequences. Their words may hurt you or others, but they feel no remorse, as they are uninterested in how their actions affect others. Pay attention to how they react to the suffering or needs of others. If someone around them is in pain or needs support, they are likely to be indifferent or even annoyed. Their indifference speaks volumes. Toxic people do not feel the need to help others, and instead of offering a helping hand, they may even judge those who find themselves in difficult situations. Such behavior is entirely contrary to Stoic ideals. The Stoics taught us to see every person as our neighbor, to be ready to support and help one another. True greatness, according to the Stoics, is manifested in one's ability to be kind, compassionate, and to understand that we are all connected by a shared fate. When a person neglects this, they lose their humanity and become a source of negativity and destruction for those around them. If you notice such behavior in someone in your circle, consider how beneficial and healthy such relationships are for you. The Stoics advise surrounding ourselves with people who help us grow and develop, not those who drag us down. Toxic people can poison your life with their negativity, and it is important to recognize these signs to protect yourself and maintain your inner balance. Number 2. Manipulation. Manipulation is another clear sign of toxic people. Manipulators are skilled at exploiting the weaknesses of others to achieve their own goals. They often operate covertly, using various tricks to control you and your decisions. Stoics valued honesty and straightforwardness, believing that true wisdom lies in transparency and respect for others. However, manipulators prefer indirect methods to get what they want, even if it harms others. Manipulators may compliment you or promise something you want to hear, only to eventually use it to their advantage. They may make you feel special or needed, but this is merely a facade hiding their true intentions. Such individuals can exploit your weaknesses, fears, or ambitions to steer you in a direction that benefits them. It is crucial to recognize these manipulations and protect yourself. Manipulators often use tactics like gaslighting, making you doubt your own feelings and perception of reality, which leaves you vulnerable to their influence. They might devalue your emotions, making you think you're overreacting or misunderstanding the situation. This allows them to keep you under control and direct your behavior to their benefit. Manipulation can take many forms, from psychological pressure to emotional blackmail. For example, a manipulator might use guilt to coerce you into doing something that benefits them. They might say, "If you really loved, cared about me, you would do this for me," thereby manipulating your emotions and sense of obligation. The Stoics advised always remaining aware and attentive to your own beliefs and values. It's important to remember that you control only your reactions and decisions, not the actions of others. If you feel that someone is trying to manipulate you, take a step back, analyze the situation, and ask yourself, what is really happening? And what influence is this person having on my decisions and feelings? Don't let manipulators use you for their own purposes. Be honest with yourself, and don't be afraid to set boundaries that protect you from their influence. Remember that your life and your decisions belong only to you. As the Stoic Epictetus taught, Do not let external circumstances control your inner life. Learn to distinguish the important from the unimportant, and you will find true freedom. Number 3, lack of responsibility. Another key sign of toxic people is their unwillingness to take responsibility for their actions. Such individuals tend to avoid acknowledging their own mistakes and always find a way to shift the blame onto others. This can manifest as constant excuses, accusations, or attempts to portray themselves as victims of circumstances. Their behavior indicates a lack of maturity and an unwillingness to admit their weaknesses or mistakes. Toxic people often employ various tactics to dodge responsibility. For example, they might blame other people, circumstances, or even external factors like bad luck. They find it difficult to acknowledge their flaws and wrongdoings because doing so requires self-reflection and a willingness to change, which they are unwilling to accept. In contrast, Stoics believe that each person should be responsible for their actions and their consequences. Their teachings emphasize that our lives are shaped by our decisions and reactions to what happens around us. This means that when we make a mistake, it is important to recognize it, learn from it, and strive for improvement. Such an approach fosters personal growth and strengthens character. If someone is always looking for excuses for their mistakes and is unwilling to admit fault, it is a red flag. This person may harm others without realizing or wanting to acknowledge the consequences of their actions. Ultimately, this behavior leads to the breakdown of relationships, loss of trust, and an inability to build healthy and mature connections. Moreover, the refusal to take responsibility is often accompanied by an inability to engage in self-criticism and self-analysis. These individuals may be prone to arrogance and believe they are always right, which hinders their personal growth and development. They cannot accept constructive criticism and often perceive it as an attack on their personality rather than an opportunity for improvement. Stoics taught that personal strength lies in the ability to take responsibility for one's life and actions. This includes the willingness to admit mistakes, learn from them, and strive for self-improvement. It is important to surround yourself with people who share these values and are willing to support you on your journey of personal growth. Therefore, if you notice that someone in your circle consistently avoids responsibility, it is worth considering how healthy and beneficial those relationships are. Acknowledging responsibility is the first step toward maturity and development, and people who avoid this step may drag you down instead of contributing to your growth and progress. Number 4, constant criticism. Toxic people often tend to constantly criticize those around them. This may manifest as belittlement, sarcasm, devaluing your achievements, or making you feel like you'll never be good enough. This type of criticism can erode your self-esteem and confidence, making you dependent on the opinions of this person. Stoics believed in constructive criticism, which is meant to help you grow and develop. Constructive criticism is aimed at improvement, offering specific recommendations, and is based on respect for the individual. It encourages self-reflection and helps you become better without harming your self-esteem. Negative criticism, on the other hand, is destructive. It does not offer paths to improvement and often aims to hurt, humiliate, or control. People prone to constant criticism may disguise their harshness under the guise of honesty or straightforwardness. They might claim they are just telling the truth, but in reality, their words are meant to make you feel worse about yourself. Their criticism may stem from envy, insecurity, or a desire to dominate. If you notice that someone is constantly criticizing you without good reason, it is a red flag. Ask yourself, how do you feel after interacting with this person? If you constantly feel down, devalued, or guilty, it may be time to reassess the relationship. Healthy criticism should inspire growth, not destroy you from within. Moreover, such people may use criticism as a tool of manipulation to control your behavior or keep you dependent on their approval. They might make you reliant on their validation, and when you don't meet their expectations, they criticize you to make you feel inadequate and seek their approval again. The Stoics taught us to be aware of our values and not let external factors disrupt our inner balance. It's important to distinguish between constructive and destructive criticism and to protect yourself from toxic people who seek to devalue you. Choose to surround yourself with people who support and inspire you, rather than those who constantly criticize and undermine your confidence. Ultimately, it's important to remember that your self-esteem and inner peace should not depend on the opinions of others, especially when those opinions are aimed at tearing you down. The Stoics taught us to find strength within ourselves and not allow external factors to dictate our emotions and self-perception. Surround yourself with positive people who support you on your journey of self-improvement. Number 5, dishonesty. Lying and deceit are another clear sign of toxic people. Dishonest individuals are skilled at manipulating facts and can easily pass off lies as truth. They can lie without feeling guilty, often doing so convincingly enough that you don't even question their words. They are capable of crafting entire stories that may seem plausible and convincing but serve only their own interests. These people may lie for various reasons: to avoid responsibility, gain an advantage, or simply manipulate others. They might deceive loved ones, colleagues, or even themselves to create the illusion of control over a situation. Constant lying erodes trust and creates an atmosphere of suspicion and distrust in any relationship. The Stoics valued truth and sincerity, believing that these qualities are the foundation of healthy relationships. Their teachings emphasize that lying and deceit destroy both trust and respect between people. The truth, even if painful, is always preferable to lies because it allows for the building of strong and genuine relationships. If someone regularly lies or distorts the truth, they likely do not deserve your trust. Lying can become a habit over time, and such individuals may not even realize how much they are harming others and themselves. They might use lies as a tool for manipulation, to control others, or to avoid the consequences of their actions. It's important to recognize that even seemingly insignificant lies can have serious consequences. They undermine trust, cause conflict, and destroy relationships. When you encounter someone who regularly lies, it's crucial to protect yourself from their influence and not let their words confuse you. The Stoics taught that true strength lies in honesty and sincerity. They believed that only through truth can we achieve genuine understanding and respect in relationships. If someone in your circle constantly lies, it's worth considering whether these relationships are worth continuing and whether they can be trusted. Remember that trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship. Once it is broken, it can be extremely difficult, if not impossible, to rebuild. Therefore, it's important to surround yourself with people who value the truth as much as you do, and who are willing to build relationships based on honesty and respect. Number 6, inconsistency. Toxic people are often inconsistent in their actions and words. Their behavior can change abruptly, making them unreliable and difficult to predict. Today they may promise one thing, and tomorrow they may act completely differently. This creates a sense of uncertainty and instability in relationships, where every step or action can unexpectedly shift to the opposite. Inconsistency manifests in various forms. A person may suddenly change their decisions, plans, or even opinions on important matters. This can apply to both personal promises and professional commitments. Such individuals may easily forget their words or simply ignore them without considering the consequences for those around them. The Stoics believed in stability and consistency, both in actions and thoughts. They considered predictability and reliability to be the foundation of trust in relationships. Inconsistency, on the other hand, destroys trust, making it impossible to build strong and dependable connections. People who constantly change their behavior or opinions cause anxiety and insecurity in those who interact with them. Moreover, inconsistent people often use their unpredictable actions as a tool of manipulation. They may keep others in a state of uncertainty to control their reactions and decisions. This leads to others doubting their own abilities and the correctness of their actions, which can become a source of stress and emotional burnout. The Stoics taught us to be true to our principles and take responsibility for our words and actions. They emphasized the importance of inner stability and clarity of thought, which helps avoid chaos and confusion in both personal and professional life. When a person is inconsistent, they undermine not only trust, but also respect. People begin to perceive them as unreliable and irresponsible, which can negatively impact their reputation and relationships. It is important to recognize that inconsistency may not only be a personal character trait, but also a result of a lack of inner discipline and clear life goals. If you encounter someone who frequently changes their words and actions, it is important to recognize the risks of such a relationship. Can you trust this person? And can you make long-term plans with them? Answering this question will help you make an informed decision about whether to continue or end your interaction with them. Remember that reliability and stability are not only qualities that make life more predictable, but also the foundation for building healthy and strong relationships. Surround yourself with people who adhere to their principles and can be a support in difficult times. Number 7, egocentrism. Egocentrism is another trait characteristic of toxic people. Egocentric individuals are solely focused on their own interests, desires, and needs, ignoring the needs and feelings of others. They view the world through the lens of their own benefit and expect everyone around them to support their ambitions and desires without considering the consequences for others. Such people may use others to achieve their goals, manipulate them, or show indifference to their feelings. For egocentric people, only what benefits them matters, not how their actions may affect others. They may display indifference to the suffering or joys of others, believing that their own interests should come first. The Stoics taught that true happiness comes through serving others and caring for the well-being of those around us. They believed that one should strive for harmony with the world by helping and supporting others, rather than being fixated on personal interests. Egocentrism, on the other hand, leads to isolation, loneliness, and the destruction of relationships, as people around them feel undervalued and used. Egocentrism manifests in various forms. It could be constantly seeking attention, being unable to listen to others, imposing one's ideas and opinions, ignoring the needs of those around them, or refusing to help when needed. Such people often expect their desires and needs to be met first, without considering how their behavior affects others. Egocentrism can also lead to a breakdown of trust in relationships, as others begin to realize they are being used or manipulated. This leads people to avoid interaction with egocentric individuals, recognizing that their feelings and needs will always take a back seat. It is important to recognize that caring for others and being attentive to their needs not only makes the world a better place, but also helps build strong and trusting relationships. When a person constantly thinks only of themselves, they destroy these bonds, making relationships superficial and lacking depth. If you notice that someone in your circle is displaying egocentrism, it's worth considering how beneficial and healthy those relationships are. The Stoics taught us to be attentive to the needs of others and to build our lives on the basis of mutual understanding and support. Surround yourself with people who value you and are willing to care for your well-being as much as their own. This will help you create more harmonious and fulfilling relationships based on mutual respect and care. Number 8, justifying cruelty. Some people justify their cruelty or harshness by claiming that they are simply being honest or straightforward. They may assert that they always speak the truth, no matter how painful it is for others, using this as an excuse for their sharp and indifferent behavior. These individuals argue that their honesty helps others see reality, even if it causes pain. However, the Stoics taught that honesty should be tempered with kindness and respect for others. For them, true virtue lay not only in truthfulness, but also in the ability to convey the truth in a way that does not cause harm. Cruelty, disguised as honesty, is actually a sign of emotional weakness and a lack of self-control. People who justify their harsh words or actions often struggle to manage their own emotions and use harshness as a defense or attack mechanism. This is not a sign of strength, but a sign of weakness and inadequacy, as such individuals are unable to show empathy or consider the feelings of others. The Stoics emphasized the importance of empathy and mutual respect in interactions with others. They taught that true strength lies in the ability to control one's emotions and express thoughts in a way that does not hurt others. According to the Stoics, honesty should not be a weapon used to humiliate or inflict pain, but should serve the good and the growth of others. When a person constantly uses honesty as a justification for their cruelty, it indicates an unwillingness to grow and work on themselves. They hide behind this excuse to avoid self-reflection and the ability to see the world from the perspective of others. It may also be a sign of inner insecurity, where a person tries to elevate themselves by putting others down. If you encounter someone who often justifies their harshness with honesty, it's important to be cautious. This behavior can be a sign of toxicity, and it can have a detrimental impact on your emotional well-being and self-esteem. It's important to remember that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and kindness, and such relationships should bring joy and support, not pain and humiliation. The Stoics taught us to strive for virtue and wisdom, which include the ability to understand and consider the feelings of others. True honesty always goes hand in hand with respect and kindness. Therefore, if someone in your circle justifies their cruelty with honesty, consider whether it's worth continuing such relationships and if they can be changed for the better. Number 9. Lack of concern for consequences. Toxic people often act without considering the consequences of their actions. They may cause pain or harm to others without feeling any remorse. For them, only the immediate result matters, satisfying their own needs and desires without regard for how their actions might affect those around them. This behavior reflects selfishness and indifference, revealing a deep inner lack of empathy and responsibility. The Stoics, on the other hand, believed in the importance of understanding how our actions impact others and the world as a whole. They emphasized the need to analyze our actions before taking them and to consider the potential consequences. Every action, according to the Stoics, should be guided by an understanding of one's role in society and a sense of responsibility toward others. A lack of concern for consequences leads to the breakdown of trust and makes it impossible to build strong, healthy relationships. People who don't consider how their actions might affect others often leave a trail of pain and disappointment. They may be unaware of or ignore the harm they cause, and may even justify their actions by claiming that others are to blame or that circumstances dictated their behavior. This behavior can be a sign of deep inner insecurity or fear, where the person is unwilling to take responsibility for their actions. Instead of reflecting on their actions and their consequences, they choose the easy path, acting impulsively and thoughtlessly, without caring about what might happen next. The Stoics taught us to act with awareness, to be mindful of our decisions, and to consider how they affect others. They believed that we are all interconnected, and that every action we take influences the bigger picture of the world. A lack of this care and awareness can lead to negative consequences, not only for others, but also for the person who, in the end, may face the repercussions of their actions. If you notice that someone in your circle consistently acts without considering the consequences, it's a red flag. Such a person can be a source of problems and stress in your life, as their actions are often unpredictable and can cause you harm. It's important to recognize that taking responsibility for one's actions is the foundation of maturity and moral integrity. People who do not accept this responsibility often prove to be unreliable partners in both personal and professional relationships. The Stoics taught us to be responsible and conscious in our actions, to strive for harmony and order in the world. Accepting responsibility for our actions is not only a sign of moral maturity, but also a path to true peace and tranquility. These are 9 key signs that can help you recognize toxic people in your life. Remember that knowing these signs can help you better protect yourself and build healthy, positive relationships. Don't forget to apply Stoic principles in your life to find inner peace and strength. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoicism. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned for more wisdom from the ancient philosophers. Until next time.